How many have heard of Alzheimer's disease? It's a physician-caused disease. Mark my words, in the next 2 years, maybe even next week, it'll pop up in the newspaper. There's more than enough information to prove that it's a physician-caused disease. Alzheimer's disease is a disease that did not occur, even by another name, 40 years ago. It only became recognized as a disease in 1979, 25 years ago. Today, it's the number 4 killer of adults over the age of 65, behind, well, I have to throw in doctors now. Doctors, cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, and Alzheimer's disease. Now, our brains are made up of 75% a fatty insulation material called myelin. How many of you heard of myelin? Good. Well, myelin is this fatty insulation material in the brain. How many are eating a brain sandwich, brain and egg sandwich? Oh, you haven't lived until you eat a brain sandwich. It is good. A little bit of onion and mustard. I mean, there's nothing better than a brain sandwich. It's real cheap now because everybody's afraid of, mad cow disease, so I buy more brains and I eat it. But at any rate, this myelin makes up 75% of our brain weight. It's so important to the animal and human brain. Myelin is 75% of our brain weight. And myelin is 100% cholesterol. You can only make 10% of your daily need. The other 90% must come from your food. And if you're very, very good at listening to your doctor's instructions, does that sound familiar? September 2000, Scientific American. If you listen to your doctor and you give up eggs and eat egg beaters, if you give up butter and eat margarine, if you rip the chicken skin off your chicken before you eat it, you eat tofu instead of red meat, the odds are you're going to get what? Alzheimer's disease. This came out 4 years ago, March of 2000. Alzheimer's tidal wave is feared. It's coming. They said within the next 25 years, 14 million Americans are going to die of Alzheimer's disease. Today, 25 years backwards, only 250,000 died of it. And 25 years backwards from that, nobody died from Alzheimer's disease. Now, why would you go from 0 to 250,000 to 14 million? Well, that's because the baby boomers are coming along, and they listened to the doctors. They believed in technology, and they believed in doctors, and they believed if they followed the doctor's advice, they could be healthier and live to be 100. And so now baby boomers are the ones that get a higher rate and higher percentage of Alzheimer's disease than our older relatives who could care less. Okay? Remember Ralph Charles still flying airplanes at 100? Harold Stilson still hitting in golf hole-in-one at 101? Mazumi Dusti, 161? Still babysitting and singing lullabies and maybe cooking and sewing? We eliminated Alzheimer's disease in animals 65 years ago. This is a human study that came out in July of 1992. Vitamin E can ease memory loss in Alzheimer's patients. This was a study by the University of California, San Diego Medical School and the Salk Institute, infamous for the Salk polio vaccine. They said that vitamin E could bring back a certain amount of memory and make people functional again. Well, nobody could believe that was true, so they redid the study, and 5 years later they came out with this. Vitamin E might slow Alzheimer's disease. High doses of common vitamin E can slow the devastating decline for some Alzheimer's patients, significantly delaying the need for nursing home care. Again, the University of California, San Diego, University Medical School. Now, if you can delay the need for nursing home care for a spouse or a child or a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle who has Alzheimer's disease by 5 years, would that be emotionally and financially beneficial to a family? Of course it would. Why don't doctors tell you this? Well, because they own the stock of the nursing home in your town that takes care of Alzheimer's patients. They don't want this to get out. This came out in 2003, November 2003, a study by Tufts University Medical School in Boston. They found out you could reduce your risk of Alzheimer's disease by 48% by just taking either supplements or fish 3 times a day to get the omega-3 essential fatty acids. This has been repeated over and over and over. This just came out January 2004. People taking vitamin C and E were 78% less likely to have a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease. Now, they didn't even think about the diet, getting rid of fried foods and margarines and sources of free radicals. They didn't even think about eating cholesterol. This was just some antioxidants. And so we know from animal studies and these sort of early studies in human beings that if you eat enough cholesterol, not fried, not cooked in margarine, but poached and soft-boiled and hard-boiled and soft scrambled in butter and meat medium rare and so forth, which we'll talk about in a minute, and take in antioxidants, the odds of you getting Alzheimer's disease are reduced to almost 0. I have to go ask my doctor. He's only going to live to be 56. Why would you ask him?